Good evening, it's NNX from the Northwestern News Network. I'm Mackenzie Kirkwood.
And I'm Monica Sani. Let's dive right into today's top stories. 40-year Navy veteran and Northwestern alum Admiral Lisa Franchetti was fired yesterday by Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. Franchetti began her career as a Navy ROTC candidate right here at Northwestern University. Graduating in 1985, just 7 years after women were allowed into the Navy. She rose to become the 33rd Chief Naval Operations, the first woman to hold the position. Just a few days prior to her firing, Northwestern announced that Franchetti would be a recipient of an honorary doctorate in human letters at the 167th commencement this June. Her replacement has not yet been named.
After an executive order from the Trump administration, schools and organizations across the country are banning transgender women from competing in women's sports. That news isn't sitting well with supporters of the trans community at Northwestern. The Trump executive order aims to, quote, protect opportunities for women and girls to compete in safe and fair sports. It's unclear if Northwestern will be affected directly by the order. Many trans advocates are worried that a potential response could mirror the university's action after Trump's executive order ending federal support for DEI programs.
It's astounding to me that an institution that claims to support diversity and equity and inclusion would so willingly give in to these executive orders instead of fighting back.
For students and Northwestern community members seeking support in the wake of the executive order, Northwestern's Gender and Sexuality Resource Center provides a variety of services. Visit northwestern.edu/GSRC to learn more. Now, Annika, you've been looking into how other executive orders are affecting Northwestern, particularly around DEI. Can you tell us more about what's happening at the federal level?
Yeah, thanks, Mackenzie. A U.S. district judge blocked some of Trump's moves to end DEI through a preliminary injunction. This stops the Trump administration from terminating equity-related programs. It also freezes action based on Trump's ordered investigations into DEI in the private sector. This is especially relevant to Northwestern, as federal efforts to limit diversity initiatives across campus should not be an immediate concern due to the judge's recent ruling.
Now, you say immediate, Annika. Have we seen any concerns here at Northwestern?
Well, the first signs of shifts in response to Trump's anti-DEI order have been changes to the Feinberg School of Medicine and Kellogg School of Management websites. Most recently, the term diversity in the About statement of the Northwestern Library's website was also removed.
Thanks, Annika. It seems like DEI changes are up in the air both in government and here at Northwestern. NNN will be providing updates on the Trump administration's impact on the Northwestern community, so stay tuned.
Also on campus, Northwestern announced new mandatory trainings for students and faculty in an email last week. In addition to the existing sexual assault and discrimination prevention trainings, this year a new annual module aims to overcome bias against Jews, Muslims, Palestinians, Israelis, and Arabs. This module complies with President Trump's executive order, additional measures to combat anti-Semitism, and arrives in light of the Department of Education's investigations into 5 universities, including the Northwestern, over alleged anti-Semitism. In the email, Northwestern stated these trainings are a part of their commitment to, quote, maintaining education, work, living environments in which people are treated with dignity and respect. The trainings are due by April 7th.
Yesterday evening, NU Ukraine held their 3rd candlelight vigil to commemorate 3 years of full-scale war in Ukraine. Through speeches from Ukrainian students, music, and a candle lighting ceremony, the event paid tribute to those lost in the war and reaffirmed students' commitment to keeping their memory alive. For NU Ukraine President Yulia Chernova, the event served to bring together those affected by the war and provide them with a space to remember and reflect on their shared experiences.
I think a lot of us are trying to find a way to live with this, and being sad sometimes is hard. It may sound weird, but it is. And I think here we're just trying to create a space where we could do that.
NU Ukraine has links on their Instagram profile to raise funds for humanitarian aid. For more ways to help out, just visit @NU_Ukraine on Instagram and click the link in their bio.
Evanston is celebrating Black History Month with a speaker series at the Noyes Cultural Arts Center. The City of Evanston and the Fleetwood Jordan Theater hosted 3 Black Evanston creatives on Saturday as a part of their Black History 24/7 365 series. The event featured artist muralist Sholo Beverly, filmmaker Lile DeMose, and culinary artist restaurateur Nina Wade. It was followed by an afterglow party with refreshments at the second floor art gallery. The artists gave a glimpse into their creative works, life, and inspirations.
Has changed in a year. Artists are always wanting to make art, figuring out how to do so under difficult circumstances, under easy circumstances, and so to be able to pick up this conversation now, to me, is really a gift here in Evanston.
You can also check out some of Evanston's Black-owned businesses, historical and cultural sites, as well as community events on enjoyevanston.com.
Northwestern Sitters and Tutors Network offers a platform for students and parents finding help for their children to connect. However, some students say they find it hard to hear back. Each job posting has the parent's email listed, instructing sitters and tutors to email the parent to apply. Parents in the network include professors, staff members, and graduate students. But student sitters like Sonali Chandra have reported that whenever they reach out to job listings using the parents' Northwestern emails, they rarely get a response back.
For most people, they have their Northwestern email there, and so I'm sure that these people are getting lots of emails every day, and it kind of just gets lost in there. So if there was some kind of feature, like a direct messaging feature within the website, I think that could work really well.
For students running into the same problem, Chandra recommends using the Evanston and Wilmette Babysitting Facebook group to find sitting opportunities, where she says she receives more responses from parents.
First-year engineering students are teaming up to solve real-world problems for local clients. Every McCormick student is required to take a course called Design Thinking and Communication, or DTC, during their first quarters here. The team spend hours in the Ford Design Center using machines to build prototypes that solve real-life problems for their clients. One group created a mobile briefcase that provides arm support and easier canvas access for a local painter who struggles to work independently due to cerebral palsy.
Here is a space for her towel, and then her brushes go here, and then this is where her water will go. She uses watercolor to paint, and so the goal is that when she's done, she can close it herself.
The students will give their final presentations in the coming weeks.
With winter coming to an end, Evanston residents are embracing a sweet tradition, maple syrup season. At Lighthouse Beach, locals got a hands-on lesson in tree tapping. NNN's Marcela Cano takes us there.
Most people don't think twice about where their maple syrup comes from.
The process of boiling down the maple sap is really interesting. I didn't know that it takes so much sap to make such a small bottle of the syrup.
From drilling the tree to cooking the sap, Evanston's Maple Syruping 101 workshop teaches every step of the process.
Well, I definitely feel like I have a better grasp on how to tap the maple trees, and I have the supplies to do that now.
Program instructor Rafael Salinas explained the historical significance of maple syruping in this region.
A lot of indigenous people, specifically from the Anishinaabe tribes, that were around here used maple syrup as part of their food source. And then colonizers were able to learn a lot of those practices.
And while the process may seem complicated, Salinas says it's surprisingly simple, if done correctly.
The biggest mistake has got to be making sure that you're tapping the tree correctly and not damaging it.
Organizers say workshops like this help educate the community on responsible tapping techniques.
So they are trying to find ways to better preserve these trees and make sure that we have unique species around.
With this new skill, participants leave ready to try tree tapping on their own, or at least enjoy their next stack of pancakes a little more. Marcela Cano, Northwestern News Network.
Thanks, Marcella. For more events like this, check out the Evanston Ecology Center.
I love maple syrup on waffles, but I've also heard of maple syrup on more savory breakfast items like bacon. What do you think, Mackenzie?
Well, where I grew up in Pennsylvania, they did have maple syrup bacon donuts, which I never tried. But there is the maple syrup latte at in the library that we should try out. So
that's all the time we have for tonight. I'm Monica Sani.
And I'm Mackenzie Kirkwood. Stay tuned for the Northwestern News Report at 7 o'clock. Have a good night.